Hello and welcome to Pilates and Contemplative Prayer. This is going to be about a 20-minute practice and just wanted to create it for you to use for free, for you to see what it's like, to get a little taste of a class. So classes that we do on Zoom are 40 minutes, so this is kind of half, but hopefully enough to give you an idea. Obviously it's done at your own risk, so if you need to check anything out or any bone or joint disorders or anything with your doctor before doing that, then that's your responsibility to do that. And the other thing you can use it for is a couple of people have asked me about retreats or online things that they're doing. So I wanted just to say that this is free. This is my gift to you. You can just use this video, just download it. It'll be on YouTube. So just go for it, use it. It's fine. Apologies for the less than professional quality recording this in times of coronavirus. I'm just in my lounge with the laptop, so yeah, it is what it is, but you're really welcome to use it, and I hope it blesses you. So you could do with just a couple of basic things. You could do with a mat, and if you haven't got one, a carpet will do. Drink of water, and then if you want to, a candle, just a light at the beginning, just a way of focusing and kind of separating this time out and setting it aside, and we will get started. So we're going to start today lying down. So you can come to your mat and you can come to lying down position, and we're going to start with the legs straight. So we're going to have the legs straight, allow the feet to drop out to the sides, arms down by the sides, and we're just going to begin with a bit of breath work. So we're going to start with just some deep breathing. So you're going to allow the breath to drop right down into the tummy, taking big deep breaths in through the nose, and then just gently releasing either through the nose or the mouth, it's up to you. And then just noticing how that feels as you breathe in and out. See if you can find any more space in the body, breathing in and out. And then I want you to take your hands onto your tummy, onto your lower tummy, and as you breathe in, see how much you can push into your hands. Taking a couple of deep breaths like that, challenging yourself to find more and more space to soften more and more. Feeling the air fill your body on the inhale, and then the body just becoming heavier and more relaxed on the exhale. Feeling the full effects of gravity. And then I want you to move your hands up to your rib cage, placing your hands a bit more widely on your rib cage. And this time as you breathe, still let the breath drop down into the tummy, but allow the breath to come out into the rib cage as well. So that wide lateral breath. And you might notice now you can find a bit more space in the body. If you begin to feel uncomfortable at all with the legs straight, you can bend the knees up. And then you're going to move the hands to the upper chest. So just taking the hand right up to the upper chest, just below the throat or the heart space. And then I just want you to breathe there. So still breathing into the tummy and the ribs, but now just focusing on the chest. And see if you can get a bit more breath in there. And then just allow the hands to come down by the sides and relax. Take a few more of those deep breaths. And I just want you to begin to welcome the presence of God into this time. Just quietly in your own mind, in your own way, as you breathe deeply. Breathing in all his love and goodness and presence that's always there, but we're just becoming more aware of it. And then as you breathe out, imagining that love and presence of God filling the space around you. And then the breath prayer that we're going to do today is going to be oriented around the presence of God and the fact that he's within us and all around us, and that we're completely absorbed by the goodness and the love of God. So our breath prayer is really simple. On the inhale, it's just going to be you are closer, and on the exhale, than my breath. So on the inhale, it's just you are closer, and on the exhale, than my breath. And you just keep that going, so your thought and your breath are coming together, creating a steady rhythm. And as you're doing that, just saying that prayer over and over, you are closer than my breath. It's allowed your body to soften into that truth, into the safety and the goodness of that. Notice how the breath is filling the body, and God is closer to us than that. And we're speaking this prayer out, we're praying to God, we're praying it over our own body, our own mind, our own emotions, our own nervous system. And then we'll begin to bring a little bit of movement in. So let's bend the knees up, feet flat on the floor, a little bit of a gap between the knees and the feet. And we're going to start with the arms. So we're just going to take the arms straight up above the shoulders, allow the shoulder blades to settle down the back. We're going to do some mini circles. So we're just going to circle around, allowing the circles to become bigger and bigger, mobilizing the shoulder. You feel that weight kind of in the back of the shoulder blades, bigger and bigger with the circles, until the fingertips are just beginning to touch, and then you can go the other way. And then smaller and smaller and smaller, until you're right back to being still. And then we'll do some arm scissors. So as we inhale, arms go one way. As we exhale, bring them back up. Inhale, arms go one way. Exhale, bring them back up. Draw the belly button in very slightly towards the spine, just creating a bit of support for the lower back. And the breath is now going more widely into the rib cage. It's no longer dropping down into the belly. And that just means we can keep that abdominal support as we begin to bring an exercise element into what we're doing. So as you inhale one way, exhale the other way, you're matching breath and movement. And if you want to, you can come back to our breath prayer. So you are closer than my breath. And then you can match the prayer, the movement, and the breath. And if you notice other thoughts coming in, that's absolutely fine. You don't need to kind of fight against them. Just let them come in and go away again as quickly as they came, and then recenter back to your breath prayer, back to the presence of God. Training our minds to be fixed on one thing can be hard, and our thoughts are often scattered, so this is a discipline. It gets better over time. Hang in there. And then we'll finish on this one. Bring the arms down by the sides. And now we're going to create a little bit more centering support from the deep abdominals. So we're just going to draw the belly button down a little bit more, so we feel that support. And then we're going to do some single knee folds. So it's a simple fold at the hip joint. So we're just going to hinge at the hip and then place the foot back down and then swap sides. So we're beginning to wake up and work our deep abdominals. It's very gentle. This is appropriate for everybody. Keeping the support. If you want more load into the abdominals, you can make the foot that's on the floor very, very light, as if it was resting on thin ice. And then that you'll feel the load increase, and then you need to draw the belly button in just a little bit more, so you've got that support. And we'll just do one more to each side. And then from here, we'll finish on that one, and we'll come into shoulder bridge. So for shoulder bridge, we're going to take a breath in, and as you exhale, tilt the pelvis and begin to peel up through the spine, bone by bone, lifting until you've got a straight line from knee to hip bone to shoulders. Take a breath in when you get there, and as you exhale, slowly release back down vertebra by vertebra, releasing the spine back to your start position. And then repeating, tilting and peeling up through the spine, just as high as is comfortable for you. Pausing for an inhale, then exhale to release all the way back down to neutral. So you're inhaling at the bottom, you're exhaling to peel up. You're inhaling once you get there, and you're exhaling to release back down. So if you want to, you can bring your breath prayer back in here. And if you're just getting used to the movement and it's enough to think about, then just stick with that. It's absolutely fine. Good, and we'll just do one more. And then from here we'll do some hip twists to bring in a bit of rotation. So we'll take the arms out to the sides, bring the feet, knees and thighs completely together. For the breath pattern here, we're going to come over to one side, head going the opposite direction. Take a breath in. As you exhale, scoop the tummy, draw the knees back to centre, over to the other side, one long exhale, and then inhale when you get there. Exhaling, coming over all the way. Inhaling when you get there. Exhaling, coming back all the way over. Good, last one to each side. Feeling the breath stretch into the rib cage as you breathe in. Finishing back to centre. And then from here we're going to come over onto our hands and knees. So safest way is just to come onto your side and then push your way up. And then come up into 4-point kneeling onto hands and knees. So hands are underneath the shoulder blades, knees are underneath the hips. Slide the shoulder blades down the back. And then we're just going to draw the belly button up again a little bit, creating that support. And then we'll lengthen the right leg out behind, hook the toes under. And then we're just going to rock backwards and forwards. So we're stretching out the calf, we're holding our frame. So our hands, our knee and our foot isn't moving, it's staying fixed to the ground, but we're rocking backwards and forwards, just getting a nice little stretch. And you can hold that back a little bit more. And then come up, place it back down and switch sides. So coming back over. Lengthening out from there. Holding. And then coming back, and we'll do a little bit of cat stretch. So initiating with the pelvis, we're going to draw the belly button up, tuck the pelvis underneath, and then move sequentially through the spine, finishing with touching the chin. And then you can release the glutes and the head from there back to the start position. So we'll do 2 more of those, rounding up and in. And final one. Good. And then from here we'll come into seated. So coming around and into seated, you can either sit with the legs straight out in front of you, or you can bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees go out in long frog, whatever's more comfortable. And we'll do a gentle spine stretch forward. So we'll take the hands on the legs, we'll relax the shoulders, find some length up and out through the crown of the head. If you aren't comfortable, if it feels tight in the hips, you can sit on a cushion and that will just make the pelvis a little bit more comfortable. So we'll inhale to prepare. And as we exhale, you're going to look down, nod the chin to the chest, that sequential movement round the spine, scoop the tummy, and then begin to hinge forward, rounding through, and then inhale back up. And I'll just show you one from a side profile so you can see. So you're sitting nice and tall, and then you're nodding the chin, scooping the tummy, rounding through the spine, reaching forwards, and then rebuilding back up. And we'll just do 2 more of those. And then last one. Good, and from here we're just going to do a nice side stretch. So we'll take the fingertips out to the sides and we'll just reach up and over. And then the same to the other side. Good, and then from here you can come back down onto your mat and lie down however you are comfortable. I'm going to stay in seated just to project my voice a little bit better, but you can lie down. Now here you can grab a pillow or a blanket, anything that you want to, just lying down on the mat. And we'll just move through a practice of the examen together. There's lots of ways to do this. I'm just going to do a simple, quick one for you today. So lying down, settle, make yourself comfortable. Begin to go back to a few of those deeper belly breaths. So the arms can just stay by the sides, but breathing more deeply into the body. And maybe sighing the breath out, just encouraging that relaxation. Nothing more is required of you physically in this time. You're just going to rest. Scanning through from the top of the head, just see if you can soften, let go, release, deepen into the mat. All the way down, head, shoulders, back of the rib cage, the pelvis, the legs, the hands, the feet. And I want you to take one maximum breath all the way in, so breathing all the way in. And then let that breath go. And then just let the breath be more natural now, so you don't have to think about it. Good, and we're in the presence of God. We've invited God in, but we're going to just invite him to speak into this time. So asking for God's light, his wisdom, his truth to help us with this. So this, if you're doing this at the beginning of the day, you can look back on yesterday. If you're doing it at the end of the day, you can look back on the day that you just had. So looking back, the last sort of 24-hour period, I want you to scan through the day. Scan through like you're looking for treasure in a field or sea glass on a beach. I want you to look through for the bits that glimmer and shine, things that you are grateful for. They can be really small things or it can be something big. But I want you to scan through and find something you're grateful for. And I just want you to hold that thing out in your imagination. Thank God for it. Building that practice of gratitude. And you might want to come back, you might even want to hit pause on this and linger in these questions a bit longer. Sometimes in my own practice I would take 20 minutes over this, so it's totally up to you. And then in that same way, I want you to scan back through your day, the last 24 hours, and think of something that was really hard, something that was challenging, something that made you feel desolation and emptiness, maybe loneliness, sadness, frustration, anger, maybe somebody really annoyed you, whatever. And I want you to hold that thing out into the light, out into the presence of God. And it's an act of release, an act of will to let that thing go or to commit to sorting it out if it's something that needs more depth, more sorting out. And next we come to repentance, and I use the word repentance on purpose because even though it can be seen as a heavy word, I think it's a beautiful thing to let things go. It means to turn away from things that don't bring us life, that aren't good for us, things that we don't want to be part of us, where we're not being our best selves. So just again, scanning back over the days, there's something you want to let go of, an attitude, a comment, a behaviour. Maybe you hurt somebody else, whatever it is, again, we bring that thing out into the light. We break any power, any chance of it to build, and we deal with it. And we deal with it into the arms, into the hands of a loving God who loves us and wants the best for us. And in its place, we receive that forgiveness, beauty for ashes. By getting rid of that kind of junk, we create space for more goodness and more of who we really are. And then as we look ahead to the next 24 hours, we come back to our breath prayer. So you are closer than my breath. So I just want you to repeat that a few times as you breathe. Maybe let the breath become a little bit deeper again now. And as you do, know that you enter your tomorrow, your next 24 hours, with that truth. And you are all finished with this practice. So you can stay down, laying down or comfortable if that's where you are. If you want any more information, my name's Emma Timms and my Facebook page is Pilates and Contemplative Prayer. I'm also going to start using this YouTube page a little bit more, so check back in. And you can just contact me via Facebook Messenger if you want any more information. and thank you for practicing with me today.